My first book was called Registration Application Submission Means Drop 'em, Bend Over, and Don't Expect Lube, How the Government Really Gains Power. 3 words is how the government has been getting authority over us. Registration application submission. All of the power they have over you is because you have put your signature on a document with 1 or 2 or 3 of these words. The word registration. What does it mean? I thought I'm just putting my name down. Nuh-uh. Historically, it goes back hundreds and hundreds of years to an act of a ship's captain signing over his ship and all chattel contents to the harbor master for safekeeping. Chattel contents included the slaves, the condemned, those in debt, anything that could be party to a contract essentially was considered chattel property. Application. Oh, when I found this one out, I was like, oh my goodness, I'm telling. Application. Application means to beg. To beg, plead, petition, implore, entreat, or request. I was like, beg? I started looking at the assumptions. If you want to look at a word and figure out what this word, what effect this word is going to have on your life, you need more than just the definitions. You need to look at the assumptions that this definition rests upon, and then you need to look at the implications created. The assumptions created by begging. He who begs knows exactly what they're begging for. Well, mind you, one time in Toronto, I had a woman ask me, can I have anything? But for the most part, someone's begging, they know exactly what they're begging for. They know exactly what they are willing to give up for it. They are acknowledging the authority to grant. Or if it doesn't exist, they're willing to create it through transference. If you beg me to take your shoe off and scratch your toe for you, maybe then I would have the authority to do that. Prior to you begging me to take your shoe off, I try touching your property, you can kick me in the teeth. We transfer authority if that authority doesn't already exist when we apply. And finally, because you are a human being and no one's ever obliged to beg, it's an entirely voluntary action. You can never claim, oh, they made me apply. No one has ever made you apply for anything. Submission. Submission is their other tricky little definition. It means to agree to bend to another's will, or to leave to another's discretion. If you are agreeing to bend to someone's will, you are in contract with them, and again, in order for it to be voluntary or lawful, it has to be voluntary. If you are agreeing to leave something to someone's discretion, in order for you to legally leave something, you must have possession and ownership of it. Again, you're abandoning it, and that's an entirely voluntary action. They get all their power when you put your signature, which is evidence of an oath, on a document with the words registration, application, submission. They do it with everything. You want to register your kids? What are you going to do? You're submitting an application for registration. You want to register your vehicle with the motor vehicle branch? You're submitting application for registration. You want to register your real property? Submitting application for registration every time. And that's why the lawyers got it. They're in all the power. You came to them and begged.